it's a little frustrating that I don't know why I would be coincidentally bananaed right as I'm about to go into the screenshots with Blitz. Seems a little sus, but I have been getting bananaed repeatedly. I'm using this account um, because of the fact, screen, okay. I'm using this account because of the fact that it has a little bit more recognition. However, this is the account that's on its last legs. I really hope I don't lose this account. But I guess if we do, worth it, I suppose. If you guys can share this live, gosh, I don't want to share it in servers that they don't want it shared in, but I think we're just going to take a few minutes to let more people come back in. We had 180 people when the live went down. And I just think, like,
And you
let's.
lasted longer than I thought you would.
No woman has ever told me that. So thank you, Kenzie.
Oh my god.
I mean, I definitely wanted to give that double entendre.
Whatever tiny bit of validation you can offer, I will eagerly take. Yes, lasted a lot longer than I expected. What I will say is, I feel like the language has been incredibly safe language. And in my opinion, the only way an account will get taken down when we were playing it as safe as what we were was incredible mass bananing, which is not what I think happened. I think it shows a large crater coming in and reporting, in my opinion. Got you, Amy. And so I do know that it is late where Blitz is. I do know it's not late where Peterson is. I just find it audacious that these guys keep claiming I'm lying, I'm misrepresenting things, I'm misleading things. And rather than join a live to correct the information, I suspiciously keep getting mass reported. It's just weird. And it's weird and it's consistent with what we have seen as well. Let me show you a reminder of how much these guys are trying to bury what's happening. Let me remind you of this while we're waiting to restart on the larger topic. How is this audio, by the way? Because now I don't have my headphones on, so I expect it not to be nearly as good.
Yeah, you sound a little far away, but I mean, I can hear you.
All right. Is this any better?
Oh yeah.
Okay, great. So, as a reminder for why this may be getting taken down a lot, is I was talking with Ian in order to set up a call with Blitz. Because, again, people like to handle things privately. And in order to do so, I had asked for a number of things to be done in regard to some stuff that Ian had said in his server, which he did some of it. And Ian had talked about the idea of redeeming Blitz. And I said, redemption of a person requires taking accountability. And I laid out like 3 things that would have to be done for him to redeem himself. The first of which started with a call. And I was told that in order for that call to happen, it would include me, Blitz, and a helper. But a week and more goes by, 10 days go by, and I'm still waiting on this call to take place. So I write to Ian, who's the person who debates God all the time. Ian, I want to keep this cordial but direct. We got off to a very bad start. That was followed by a phone call that I thought was respectful and fair and promising. We agreed to certain things on the call, but they were delayed because you asked for a path to redemption for Blitz. For the last 10 days, that path has been presumably placed on hold, and I have been effectively ghosted. What I'm asking for is a call with all of us, or the next demand I said was just you and me, so we can figure out why is this happening. Ian responds, to clarify, Blitz wants very hard reassurances that he won't be recorded on the call. Blitz wants a legal contract or something of that nature that would guarantee it's not recorded. That seems like a lot for a Discord call. I mean, I think that's crazy, but okay. So I wouldn't likely assume it's going to happen unless you wanted to do that. Ian, you can tell Blitz that I guarantee I will not record the live. To the extent he doesn't trust me, I told the helper, someone he knows I respect, I would make that promise to her so that if I'm lying, I'll be betraying her trust. There's no contract in the world that would give Blitz what he wants. So what other reassurances does he want? Maybe we can do this call on Snapchat where it notifies you of recording devices? Because I feel like I'm bending over backwards to give options here. And to be clear, Blitz has avoided talking to me and addressing his lies for months now. See my DMs to him from June 21st. Blitz also knew that from the moment he started slandering me and stuff, I messaged him on Discord and he blocked me. And so he knew that I'd been messaging him for weeks. But on June 21st, when I did a live on him, he then decided to let me DM him. And I'm going to show you all these screenshots later. I asked him to justify all his lies. I'm not hostile with him at all. To which he finishes by saying, "You're harassing me." So in response to me saying, asking for a legal contract is kind of crazy and won't give him what he wants, Ian goes back and talks to Blitz. Blitz says that's not enough. He says you, Irish, can drive down to my house, Ian's house, to guarantee it happens in a state where you can't record. Again, I doubt a call will happen because of the bar Blitz has set on this. To which I said, you could tell him I'm not doing a contract revealing my legal name or going to another creator. I honestly think the fact that Blitz and Peterson are trying everything they can to simply silence the truth is telling of how much these guys just simply have absolutely no regard to be held accountable. I don't understand. I agreed to a private call, right? A private call to me was on its own ridiculous to ask for. All of this has been public. He has publicly called me a liar. He has publicly said that I masturbate to minors. He has publicly said all these things. But now he wants to go into a private conversation. Okay, fine. But he's never going to talk to me unless he knows it's not recorded. Why? Why does he not want to record it? And from what I understand, his argument is he's worried I'll take it out of context, to which my response is, why don't you record it, bro? If you record it and I take anything out of context, you can just show I recorded it poorly, right? Or clipped it poorly. And
Well, I assume he would admit he would admit that he lied. And then
well, I think more so what it is say again.
I think if he knew it was like a safe space, yeah, he would admit things that he's been denying.
I mean, maybe that is the case. Like, maybe that is the case. Like, that could very well be what it is. I think regardless of what it is, it's indicative of bad faith. Because either he's going to admit to bad acts, or he knows he's going to say something that could jeopardize him. Because I'm not afraid to say anything in public. So why is he terrified of talking privately such that he needs a recording? And like, again, any fear about being clipped out of context, I don't know anyone who's ever found me clipping them out of context. Like, this weird narrative they've created, they're again doubling down on this idea. This is all fake. This is all not a big deal. So with that context, we have enough people here where I'll continue what's going on. So again, Blitz is informed of the fact that a grape victim is being held hostage by his friend, and that all they want is for the PFP to be hidden, right? And in response, Blitz posts this, forwards it on as he said he would. To me, this shows he knew exactly what was going on. And if anyone thinks I'm being crazy on that, like, do push back. But I just don't think, I think you would say about a woman named Liz. I don't think you would say about Liz. To me, that means you two both know this name, which means because she's a tiny creator, it would mean that these two have to have talked about her. Blitz then says, and again, I am editorializing in order to put a fine point on it, does the victim of grape seeking protection from her grapist not see a problem with this request? What I mean is that the victim of grape has been participating in using Peterson's name, voice without his consent to accurately characterize the harm that he has done, including putting his way of providing for his family at risk. How can you not see the irony? So I want to be super clear. Irony implies similarity. A grape victim asking for this dude to take a simple step of removing a PFP to protect herself from her grapist is analogous to her being on a live where Peterson is being called out for his bad actions. This to me is incredibly minimizing, trivializing grape. To me, this was just disgusting. Like, it showed a complete lack of concern. First of all, it showed no concern for the victim. He showed no moral outrage. He didn't at any point say, oh my God, this is horrible. He didn't at any point say, oh my God, why is my friend doing this? He didn't at any point say, my friend shouldn't be doing this to someone. He didn't at any point say, oh, we shouldn't be using victims of grape to hurt one another. At no point does he do that. Instead, he says that the victim who's been graped and is afraid of her attacker has the same concern as Peterson has for being called out on his bad actions. Generally, I think putting people out there in public videos is not good without their consent, with a few exceptions, which is why I don't record my own lives. Okay, so this is going well. But keep in mind, this isn't the first YouTube video the victim of grape has ever been in. She's in several of the YouTube videos with Irish. Why doesn't she want them taken down also? This is him saying, first of all, taking no consideration for the fact that she may have been consulted on each of those videos and has made a determination that there wasn't any risk involved of triggering the grapist. Disregarding that, this is Blitz saying that he gets to determine how someone controls the harm that is out there. This person then responds and says, the woman responds, so the grape victim being on a panel with Irish means she should get attacked because Irish has lives about Peterson? Or am I still not following? What videos on YouTube has she ever been in with her username and profile pic clearly visible with the reach of Peterson? And like, that's a really important part. With the reach of Peterson. Like, my main issue with it is that she consented with she consented to the video being used with stipulations, and he only used them because she's friends with Irish, regardless of her safety concerns. She's not Irish. Hold on, I'm going to stop for a moment. Why can't people ask to help? How would I help if we were just get blocked? I'm a dog. We have a number of people in here who are reporting the live. And so anyone who looks suspicious, as if they may be reporting the live, is simply being blocked. We understand that that means there will be over blocking taking place, but we'd rather get this publicly stated and then come back and clean stuff up. And let me actually just make one quick change to something. I apologize. Give me 1 second. But she is basically saying again, why is your friend, and there's no question, right? There's no question that she is informing Blitz that my friend is being held hostage. This person I know is being hurt by your friend Peterson, and her grape is being weaponized. Hold on 1 sec. That her grape is being weaponized in order to silence her, right? Just give me 1 second. I'm just redacting one other thing. Okay. And so Blitz can't argue he didn't know what's going on. Blitz can't argue that he wasn't fully informed. Blitz was fully informed. And his argument is, well, she's done it before, so what's the big deal, right? Hold on one moment. So the argument is that she's done it before, so what's the big deal? She's saying, I don't know what videos she's been on YouTube, but have they ever been with the reach of Peterson's? Like, my main issue with it is that she consented with the stipulations, and he's only doing this to spite her because of Irish. She's not Irish. Why should we all be under attack by Peterson for what others have said and done? Heck, he even slandered me today and deleted everything after I gave him fair warning that my country actually takes this stuff seriously. Blitz then, and this is where I'm curious, what did Blitz say, right? I'm curious what work Blitz did with his friend to get his friend to care about a victim of grape, right? I want to see what that work is, because the work that Blitz does in order to invalidate the concern is interesting to me. Because that work is, keep in mind she's been in other YouTube videos. I'm going to ask the question, how did Blitz know that? Why did Blitz know that she had been in any other YouTube videos? Why did he even think to figure that out? Or who is it who's equipping him with that argument so he can deflect? He then posts evidence of her being on YouTube as a way of saying that her concern is invalid. Now, what's critical here is, obviously, first of all, she can choose to change her mind at any point. Secondly, this is a tiny creator. And thirdly, it was a video that she thought was safe to put up because the other video was all about grape culture. And so he continues to advocate that she's overstating the concern, and then says this: if the victim of grape was concerned about being found online, why is he showing up on lives at all? Gosh, didn't that sound exactly what Peterson had said? If she's afraid of being found in any lives, she should never be on the internet at all. So if she's concerned about being found online, why is she showing up on lives at all? It just seems like she's weaponizing her fear. She is weaponizing her grape.
Women should just stay home.
So first point is, women stay locked in your houses. And secondly, this myth that women, the only reason women care about grape is as a weapon. He's telling her this after it's abundantly clear that Peterson is weaponizing her grape to hurt her and compel her to do something. But he has the audacity to say that the grape victim is weaponizing her fear. The victim of grape has no problem talking in front of hundreds of people who might be recording her, and she apparently has no problem being recorded. It's only Peterson she has a problem with. Well, let's be clear. Peterson is someone she doesn't control. Peterson is not a safe person. Peterson is a dangerous person. So even if everything else was true, her being concerned of Peterson is valid. To which then Blitz finishes to what I think is the most insidious comment if you really look at what it is. Also, if the victim of grape is participating in it, as in joining Irish's lives, the victim of grape is not inculpable. Now, inculpable is a term of art, or not a term of art, it's not a term we use a ton, right? And so let me just flip very quickly to show you the definition of inculpable to really understand what he is saying.
And I would just like to add this concept that women should stay offline or women should stay at home if they don't want to experience explicit violence. Is essentially just saying that women are victimizing themselves. This is I don't know if Iris has ever shown the grape culture pyramid, but this is the foundation of grape culture, which is victimization.
Hard agree. So just so everyone understands what he's saying, the grape victim is not inculpable. The grape victim is not deserving to be blamed or considered responsible for something bad. So let me rephrase it. He's basically saying any harm that comes to her is on her and it's deserving. So like, I know it's a fancy word that a lot of people don't use a lot, but let's put it exactly in the way it's meant. He's saying that she is not inculpable. She is deserving. She is deserving to be held responsible for something bad. But what does the responsibility mean in this context? The responsibility is what Peterson's doing. She is not deserving to be considered responsible, meaning that putting the video up, because that's how she's being held responsible, right? He's saying that she, by participating in my lives, is deserving of being responsible for what happens. She brought it upon herself. So I don't know how someone like Blitz, who we pretend is a smart, educated person, who's knowledgeable, who is meant to be someone that people consider empathetic, is meant to be one of the good ones, is meant to care about social justice issues, right? I don't think you can claim or blame this on ignorance. Blitz should know better. And so I think he fully knows what he's...
100%. I was just going to say he's 100% participating in grape culture.
And the problem was that we had asked for him to take responsibility for this. And it's kind of wild. If you go into the public server of Parker, I think it was, and someone can correct me in the Discord chat. And actually, let me just pause the live for just 1 minute. Give me just 1 second to fix something. I apologize.
I'm really shocked that like how many men act that they think just grape is this abhorrent thing, and then that they're just kind of like dismissing her and saying this is her fault.
So?
Like, and then out of the other side, what do you mean?
Sorry, can you repeat that? It was a little down on my side.
I find it interesting how abhorrent men say they find grape.
Oh.
And then on the other side of their mouth, just, diminish, invalidate, and blame the victim. It's so disheartening.
I can somewhat not make an excuse, but I think the explanation is that a lot of men, I don't know why they are so ignorant about grape. Like there's no excuse for it. But I think what their argument is that it's an act and the harm of that act ends with the act. I think it shows a complete lack of consideration, understanding, in any way, any sort of like appreciation for the long-term impact. And that is, in my opinion, I understand the act is obviously itself a tremendous harm, but to me, the harm that is most destructive on a victim is the harm that happens afterwards. The invalidation, the fear, the concern, the trauma response, the PTSD, the psychological aspect of being raped is the harm, in my opinion. And I think men don't validate that harm because they don't live in a world where they feel afraid. And so they don't have any capacity of understanding what that fear is like. And so I think that's why it is. But again, he claims to be someone who cares about social issues. He's not this stupid. And so to me, this is him telling us who he is. And I'm tired of fake advocates. Like, I don't mind if he comes out and he says, you know what, I pick and choose which victims I care about. But he won't do that. Remember, this is the same guy who tried to weaponize sexual allegations against me that were fake, right? Pretending to care about the victim, right? But here he's being given an opportunity to care about the victim, and he's victim blaming. He's telling her to stay in her house, that she's weaponizing her grape, and she deserves what's coming based upon her actions.
And I don't understand how she's weaponizing it. Like, how is her asking him to change the video?
This live. This is why we've never done a live on this, because we wanted the video down, because she was really worried, for obvious reasons, right? And so they will now claim what I'm doing is weaponizing it. But I would say this is just showing people who you are. She's not weaponizing it. At this point, she's got it down. She's got what she needs down. And now you don't get to hide what you did. And this is why I say this is a dangerous person. And here's why. He pretends to care about people, but doesn't. And I'm going to remind you, do you guys remember? Oh, by the way, in regard to Kenzie's point about the weaponization, the woman continues, Blitz, the only person who knew she wanted her information redacted was Peterson, because she asked him to do it privately. He admitted to only doing it and refusing to out her out of spite for Irish. So she's making the point. She's not weaponizing shit. She just wants the PFP down. Now, the reason why I'm saying this person is bad is he is surely, you can say, doesn't give a crap about victims of sexual violence. However, remember this. Remember when Blitz slid into Mac's DMs and Blitz concocted this fake story, or no, let me rephrase that, used factual information to construct a fake narrative that I stalk children and that I get other people to stalk children. And when he realized that he had provided direct messages from the person, he asked Mac, can you please not share these with Irish? Because if you share them with Irish, he might figure out who the source is. So I want to be clear. He spoke to another woman friend of mine, got facts about a situation, tried to weaponize those facts in order to create a fake narrative about me. Then he said to Mac, please don't tell Irish because you claim, Mac, to care about women, right? Therefore, Mac, you should protect this woman, right? And then when Mac shared and by the way, it worked. And I didn't actually give him credit for that. It did work. I didn't realize it at the time that's why Mac didn't share anything with me. And it wasn't just because he had said that. It was because he communicated that Mac had said things that he would use against me. And so he made it so that Mac would not want to tell me what she had done. And she didn't for 6 weeks or more. And it wasn't until I really kind of like was pushing her, are you sure, Blitz, that they've never messaged you? Are you sure about that? And that's when she finally was like, okay, yeah. And then shared those screenshots. That was about a week and a half ago. Once Max shared those screenshots with me, I recognized who the source was straight away. And I was like, what the hell? This is not what happened. And then I reached out to the source. The source obviously reached out to Blitz. And the source then said something to Blitz, which then caused Blitz to run into Mac's DMs. And Blitz did this. Blitz, whatever happened to your promise to protect my source, Mac? I'll rephrase this. Why are you not helping me solve my problem? To be honest, I should have known that anyone who sides with Irish doesn't actually care about protecting women. They just care about revenge. I'm going to repeat this again. I should have known that anyone who sides with Irish doesn't actually care about protecting women. They just care about revenge. Mac then says something that's incorrect, but that was because she didn't know any better. Mac, I'll bring you up in 1 second. I need to ask you a message for something. Well, Mac, oh, yeah, all right. Give me 1 second. Hang on 1 second. Sorry, guys. I have to change the format. Give me just 1 second.
I'm curious who we're revenging.
Who did someone say we're revenging someone?
Yeah, it listed. That's what it says. You just want revenge. Like, who are we revenging?
Oh, good point.
Wait, no, I was really asking.
I have no clue.
Oh, okay.
Mac just DM'd you because I have to change the format. So, Blitz, and this is pure performativism, right? To be honest, I should have known that anyone who sides with Irish doesn't actually care about protecting women. They just care about revenge. Mac then states something incorrect, but that's because she didn't know any better. She said the source told me because he was accusing her of telling me the name of the source, right? But Mac didn't know the name of the source. So Mac's like, I didn't tell Irish, so Irish must have been approached by them. And then Blitz says, he wouldn't have known that she shared that info unless you told him. She wasn't in contact with him. She woke up the messages from from Irish, but cool, keep protecting women. This man tried to manipulatively make Mac feel like she was the one harming women when it was this guy who, quote unquote, endangered this woman by sharing her DMs. But that danger implies that I'm a danger to the woman.
I'm
And it seems like
confused.
women.
Is he in that in the statement you're pointing at? Is he the source?
No. So he's not the source. So again, Blitz reached out to a woman, got fact about me, tried to get dirt on me, which we've seen him do multiple times. Then asked,
Okay.
and then she gave factual information, which he then misrepresented to tell Mac that I was a horrible person. And he realized, I maybe have given too much information to Mac, that if she shares that with Irish will find the third party source, the female source that
okay,
he
I
had
gotcha.
gotten the information from. And he was claiming that if I ever learned who the source was, that she would be in danger. Because when he's saying protecting women, what he's saying is protecting women from me. He's saying that if I discover the source, that woman will be endangered, which is wild.
Gotcha.
And so here he's guilt-tripping Mac for tipping me off about the source, right? And to me, this shows
Is the source what we talked about last night?
No, I'll show part of the source stuff in a moment. She then points out, I'm not contracted to you, bro. But he blocks her, because that's what Blitz does. He runs away. So Mac goes into, I think, Dean's server and finds this comment that he had made that day. I don't owe you anything. And Mac said, and yet you demand I owe you and your source privacy. The way you talk to women younger than you reeks of misogyny. I don't owe you anything. And since your cowardly ass decided to block me, I never got to clarify that. Let me make a few things crystal clear for you. I'm not Irish's #1 fan. If anything, he's my bitch. I don't agree with that, but I get it. The fact that you insinuated I am privileged because I haven't
why
faced...
don't you agree with that?
Because I have an ego. The fact that you insinuated I'm privileged because I haven't faced...
You agree with it when I say it.
But that's mommy asking me. I have faced more harassment than your fragile ego could ever. And that's so true. He can't even talk about any of this stuff publicly, right? And I don't owe you or your shit-talking source anything. Well, just to show what a danger I am to the source, this is a statement from the source to me. And if Blitz claims this isn't the source, he can reveal his real source, because this is the source. I'll say it again. Irish didn't know Leo was 17.
I know.
Yeah.
You told me who the source
Leo
was.
Well, thanks, Kenzie. Leo lied and claimed to be 18 and faked a passport. It was revealed on a live that he was 17, and contact ceased immediately. Irish blocked Leo. This has stemmed from my harmful comment, which was never meant to be publicly shared in order to misrepresent Irish's intentions. I have let Blitz know that I was pissed and would like no further involvement. He's on his own with this. So he's not concerned with protecting women. He's concerned with using women to enact his revenge. So when he says, why aren't you protecting women? He is weaponizing Mac's concern for women to get her to comply. But we know, based upon these screenshots, that he doesn't give a flying fuck about victims. He doesn't give a flying fuck that when someone comes to him and say, can you please help me? And he doesn't care that he knows his friend won't honor it. He knows Peterson will keep weaponizing and harming this person. And he's like, I can pass it on, but I doubt he'll honor it. And this was Blitz's passionate plea to his friend to be a decent human being. I was told to pass this on. Now, what are we about to do?
I really want to know where you got that.
Oh, I have ways. And in fact, not only do I have ways, I have news. Everybody buckle in, because shit's about to get real interesting. We now know who reported my last live, and I can now report it because we now have the receipts, because he's a dum-dum.
How?
I'm just that good. Peterson reported the live. Want to know why I know that? Because Peterson just slid into the DMs of Mac and the victim in order to threaten them into silence 20 minutes ago. I told them to continue the conversation and record it, knowing that he would probably try to delete it. Now that we've got that recorded, breaking news, let's see what it is Peterson said when all of this has been disclosed. Mac, I'm going to remind you again, no names, and the screenshots you're about to show, Mac, make sure they're fully privated. And if you need time to do so, I'm very confident people are happy to wait.
Yeah, I'm redacting the screenshots right now.
I recommend you send them to...
I'm going to send them to you so you
the
can look
victim.
over them.
Okay. All right, you're going to send them to me. Okay.
Yeah.
So send them to me in that chat
group
that
chat,
we're in, so that that person can also check stuff out. And we're going to see in real time who this person is. But I was notified that, and that's what, I don't know if you guys noticed I was fumbling at any points. I was notified that Peterson had contacted them at, oh, why? It's been a while. I apologize. 7:38 p.m., which would be, sorry, not 7:38, exactly 40, just over 40 minutes ago. And so they've been talking for 40 minutes now. I can, Mac, when you're sending me the screenshots, you need to delete the top part that shows your name, your username, because it also shows their username, okay?
Irish, while Mac is doing that, why don't you do the disclaimer? That's why I came up here.
Oh, great point. While I'm doing that,
Oh,
let me just
Captain,
make
my
sure.
captain.
No, sorry, I wouldn't know. But here's a preview. Ready? Here's a preview
Okay.
of what we're about to see. Let me just double check. There's absolutely no chance of. Let me just
got a
triple check.
violation.
Okay.
I just got a
All right.
violation.
This is part of it. She must have said something about go collect your unemployment check. I don't collect unemployment, so I wouldn't know. You both admitted there was absolutely nothing about the video that was dangerous. This is him again weaponizing that it was PTSD. Honestly, you're just an internet bully and a manic idiot. Please just go unalive yourself. Honestly, said to the great victim. Please just go unalive yourself.
Wild.
Wow.
And I'm going to say it again.
And he cares about mental health.
Blitz is defending and protecting this guy and bending over backwards to pretend that his friend is not a dangerous person. And these were going to be my final lives where I'm revealing all this stuff. You know what? I spent 3 months canceling Peterson and getting him fired. I've got time for Blitz. Until Blitz comes out and makes a public apology, I'm staying focused on Blitz.
I just sent you the screenshots.
I'm checking right now.
Okay.
Can you have the person in the group chat, can that person aid by reading along with me that there's nothing in there?
Well, yeah.
Okay, give me a moment. God, I want that recording you made.
Oh, I have that.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Geez, imagine playing the video where he was outraged by what he said that you did about unaliving people self-unaliving themselves, and then just put this little message right after that.
Oh, do we want me to grab that?
I mean, yeah, go make that video. I'm going through this really quickly, but this is already pretty fucking wild. Hang on.
Hey, he was.
Wow, I
triggered.
did not. Well, that's because you're talking to him. You're like this magic. Wow, you are doing so good in this.
I know, I ate him up.
Yeah, you ate him the fuck up. Hang on, I'm just triple checking. Oh my God. Yeah. I'm thinking guys, everyone stick around. This is definitely worth. So far, there's 8 pages.
I'm tired of being fake nice to this idiot. Like, I've had to be fake nice to this person and cordial for so long for the sake of the victim. So, like, this was literally just me letting everything out, like all of my unfiltered opinions. And everything I wanted to say is say to this person, I was able to say it, and it was great. Felt really good.
And I'm going to ask Kenzie for something awkward. Kenzie, I'm going to ask you maybe. Oh,
I'm live.
I think we're good. Yeah, perfect. Wait. Yeah. So I just think we need a little bit of protection from Peterson now doing a video where he outs the person, which is his way of dealing with this kind of thing. And so, Kenzie, I might talk to you about ways you may be able to help with that. But I'm going to make sure Blitz is made aware that if he tries to name this person, like at that point, like I have the energy. Mac says, I don't know what you had said. Mac, am I right that he contacted you?
Wait, I just want to highlight that I think it's crazy that he has avoided Irish like the fucking plague in all these lives, and yet he DMs Mac and the victim when we're talking about this. Like, what?
That's a great point.
I did send the first message, but the reason for that was because of the video you played earlier of him mischaracterizing what happened.
Oh, that's fair.
What's his face?
Okay, that's fair. We don't want misrepresentation. So Mac sent the first DM, and Mac said, because Mac had not seen that video, and that video was the video we showed that was posted a few days ago, less than a week ago, where he said that these girls bullied him. So Mac says, interesting of you to characterize what you did to the victim as just some girls forcing you to take down a video for no reason. Want to clarify that, what you meant by that? Or, also just wanted to check in. How's that unemployment check?
Oh my God.
So, wait, what was that? 9:35. It took him 2 minutes to respond. Man hasn't responded to me in 3 months. 2 minutes. I don't collect unemployment, so I wouldn't know. You both admitted there was absolutely nothing about the video that was dangerous. Honestly, you're just an internet bully and a manic idiot. Please just go unalive, honestly. So it wasn't the video's content that the victim was concerned about? Oh, how interesting. I thought you condemned that kind of language. since you hate reading, I think names are probably in that, you can both, so he's talking to both of them when he's saying this, you can both stop harassing me, or I'll gladly put your brain dead attack on blast. I have all the screenshots of you admitting there's no logic behind your claim the video was dangerous. So stop being a bunch of chronically online miserable people and live a life. That's a weak-ass threat. No one had an issue with the content of the debate. The issue was the fact that you didn't allow the victim to be in control. My life is pretty great. I have been great. I'm glad you're thinking of my well-being. Well, he does practice mental health. Laughing my ass off, likely rewriting history. No, I mean, we just went through all the screenshots, right? Okay, that's enough now. You can stop. Or does no mean no not mean anything to you? This is, again, guys who love to weaponize any concern for victims. Would you like me to repost the video to show you what I said? I never mentioned the content of the debate. I still have a copy because I knew you would want to control the narrative. Just don't talk to or about me, and I won't talk to or about you either. It's 100% up to you. What would you say about me? I'm so curious. Like, what dirt do you have on me? How are we bullying you, bro? I only have questions. And then the victim says, what did I say to you within this chat that you feel was harassment? Max says, you harassed the victim. I'm telling both of you to not talk to me. Continuing to do so is harassing me. Holy shit. Hold on one moment. Let's just show what these guys are like. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Blitz does a video on me when? On the 10th, wasn't it? There it is. Okay. But I have more. Oh, God damn it. Hang on. Sorry. Give me a moment. What am I talking about? Let me think for a moment. I can just go into my direct DMs with Blitz, right? I know. All right. I have them edited. Give me 1 second, guys. Blitz tactic, the source, the DMs, aiding and abetting, first lie, ID'd, closer examination.
Oh, who gave me gifts? I didn't even notice.
Because I would like to think, Mac, that I'm loving...
Irish said, someone said there was a name shown.
Well, if it is, it has now been redacted. Anytime I'm pausing, it may be to deal with things exactly like that.
I got a violation like 5 minutes ago. Should I drop and come back?
You should, definitely, yeah. Give me just one moment. I'm so sorry. Where is... Gosh darn it. Sorry, just give me 1 second. Flashback, Blitz, thank you, video. Are they coordinating? Blitz and Paleo. Clarifying lies. Blitz says not found. Paleo dolls down. Channel and meeting.
Give it about 2 minutes, Shubity.
Where the fuck is it? Blitz new tactic. Down. Gosh, I wish I could find it now. It is basically my messages to Blitz, which he there, got it. So, Quinky Dink. So, yeah, Mac, if you can go correct anything.
Sent you. I fixed it. It was screenshot 4. I fixed it though,
Yeah.
so I sent you a new one.
Yeah, I knew it was screenshot 4. Okay, so this is what I messaged Blitz, because Blitz indicated he wanted to finally speak to me after blocking me and not talking to me. That's why I said I tried to connect with you earlier and held back from reaching out again because you made clear you would not talk to me. I'm happy to see you now seem open to talking. I then, and you can all take screenshots, I'm not going to go through it. This is me asking him, you called me a liar. What did I lie about? You said I'm not trustworthy. Why? You said critical context was missing. What was the context? Don't you think it's disingenuous that you did this? Can you admit you have been reporting my lives? From your recent statements, you agree that Peterson's server had a lot of the things going wrong. So in what way am I lying? I want to discuss, if you want to discuss this offline, why have you guys, if you guys are saying I'm wrong for not trying to discuss this offline, why have you guys not discussed it with me? And I basically, very cordially, ask him to explain these things. He then says, I can't do this right now because it's my birthday. I'll be more inclined to talk after Sunday. Now, at this point, I'm doing lives on him. So I pause doing lives on him. Then on the 23rd, he responds, I'm going to ask that you leave me alone. This is after he has publicly said in Discord servers, I masturbate to minors. He slid into no less than 8 women's DMs to slander me, tell people I'm a liar. He's been working behind the scenes to defend Peterson. His first request of me is, I'm going to ask that you leave me alone. Please leave me out of your live streams, your videos, whatever. I'm not consenting to my image of my private communications to be used by you or anyone else. I ask that of you. To which I respond, you have a very nasty habit of asking questions before you answer questions. I ask that you respect this request. Please answer the questions I've been waiting days for you to answer. Sorry, I'm not interested in speaking about this. You have my request. Please respect my request to leave me alone. I said, I requested you talk to your friend about the deplorable actions. Not only did you refuse, you then proceeded to join servers to defend, announce to people that I was an untrustworthy liar, use your platform of 250,000 followers to further undermine my credibility, told people lies about me, blah, 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 blah. You didn't honor my request, so and I shall not honor yours. And if you think running from this situation is the best option for you after the harm that you have caused, ask yourself how well that worked for Peterson. I implore you, this is me trying to hold his hand, I implore you to set your ego and arrogance aside and engage in dialogue to resolve this. His response, to be clear, you're refusing to stop harassing me and you're refusing to stop inciting harassment towards me. To which I say you have a nasty habit of recharacterizing things, and me setting the record straight is not harassment. Please stop harassing me and encouraging others to do the same. Bump! Doesn't that flow right into this? Him accusing them of harassment. What did I say to you within this chat that was harassment? You harassed the victim. I'm telling both of you to not talk on me. Continuing to do so is harassing me. These yellow-bellied, spineless, pathetic excuses for men. You're so effing stupid, it's almost unbelievable. So you were the one who mischaracterized what happened here on your public live, bro. Literally, if I see one more message, the shit comes out. So please stop now.
The
what?
story.
The story.
Comes out. I'm like, what story, bro?
It's his spin. I have gone through all the messages. So I have the right to ask a clarifying question. What story, bro? Well, you made the decision because she didn't comply. If the woman doesn't comply, I'm going to punish her. The victim bows out, or is about to bow out. And then Max says, what story? I'd love to see what you come up with. Send an invite to the live when you hold it. It's probably just going to be my information again. But since my investigation is not closed, I can just send an SAPO. What dirt do you have on me? What's the story, Peterson? Bro just showed his true colors. You're an effing hypocrite. You don't give an F about women. Your poor wife. It's sad, really. I hope your story is good, bro. I'll bring my popcorn. It's okay, Mac. My investigation literally isn't closed. He's just trying to intimidate me into silence at this point, which would not be viewed very highly by victim services. He really thought, Mac's clearly not even listening. He really thought pissing off us would be a good idea for him. You are the one who lost your job over what you did in your server, And you thought this would help? Peterson responds, literally every single accusation was proven to be a lie. What are you even doing? You still lost your job. Let's move it to DMs, though. He will twist this and call it blackmail or something rather than just what it is. He didn't care that my rapist was literally in close contact with me while case updates were being made, or the fact that he had a pattern of behavior that justified that fear. And, to the job, I'm just saying maybe don't threaten us when you are the one who is royally effed up. Nobody is being threatened. Calm down. Really? Let's go back. Just want to make sure. Nobody is being threatened, right? Okay, that's enough now, or does no not mean anything? Just don't talk to or about me, and I won't talk to or about you either. It's 100% up to you. To which he then says, I'm telling both of you to not talk to me, continuing to do so as harassment. And then literally, if I see one more message, that story comes out. So please stop now. Wait, I'm just realizing. Story. He's threatening to release information on the victim. Am I misreading that? That's why you keep asking story, because you're like, what story? It's her story. I don't want to overstate it. Am I?
Yeah.
Just like the whole like situation in general is how I read it. Like he's like threatening to release like
all the DMs.
Yeah, like all of the DMs, everything like that.
I mean, obviously I'm concerned for the person in question that personal information would get out there. Like that's why I've tried to redact as carefully as possible. But it's wild that he is so delusional that he thinks those DMs would in any way paint him as anything other than a dangerous sociopath. Like, this is the problem. Like, I don't think Peterson is necessarily a liar. I think he's absolutely delusional. He's incapable of just seeing the truth about himself. All right, let me just double check something.
I think he also, like, by the story,
Okay.
He kept saying, I don't know if we already went through those screenshots, but he kept saying something about, like, I guess both of us saying there was no danger or something. So I think that also might be what he was talking about, like him just like, you know.
Yep, could have been. So then, where is it? No threat. Where was that? But why do you keep saying your story and he's got no answer to it? But what dirt? Bro just showed his colors. It's okay, Mac. Literally every single accusation is a lie, but you still lost your job and nobody is being threatened. Calm down. I truly hope no woman you love ever endured what did and that you are never. Let me flip it over. I truly hope no woman you love ever endures what did and that you are never on the tail end of the treatment I have undergone with you. Mac then says, then what's the story that's about to come out? You saying delete video or I'll tell everyone you put someone in danger. When we all know for a fact the video in no way or shape or form did that. How else can I paint for you that it was a danger? You admitted it wasn't. Proof? Literally did not. Where's that message? You misinterpreted my words. That's your opinion. Do you not care about grape culture? Do you think grape is a joke? I'm leaving the group chat now. Goodbye. Please don't contact me in the future. You're cool. If you have questions, let me know. Remember he said she was harassing him. Coward, send me the link. Says the internet bully. Mac's a bully in real life too. Let me guarantee it.
I really like the addition of the clown emoji and the pointing emoji. That's been my favorite combo.
Oh, I didn't even see that. Oh, before he left. Oh, excellent response.
And I also
So
said it whenever I talked about him losing his job, I used that combo as well. I thought it was funny.
I just, listen, to suggest this guy is not dangerous is crazy to me. It's crazy. This guy is a sociopath who has absolutely no problem threatening people in order to protect his own image. And I'll say it again. Blitz is 1000% defending this person. I can tell you that I have had friends of Blitz, close friends of Blitz, try to talk to Blitz about this. And I have been told that they agree that Peterson should be avoided entirely. But they want to give grace to Blitz because he's trying to do the right thing for his friend. And I would say no. What they're doing is enabling Peterson's continued abuse because it is because of people like Blitz who are in any way platforming or supporting, endorsing, or in any other way making Peterson not seem like the monster he is. That's why bad guys get to be able to get away with doing bad things. And so I can tell you, I know for a fact, Blitz is currently of the opinion he will not condemn Peterson, that he believes that Peterson conducted bullying, but other than that, has no issue with the rest of the things he's done, and instead will continue going about his business and change in no way. So
I think Peterson is like tweaking right now. Like I genuinely think he's like at some sort of a breaking point because he was like I don't know, I feel like he was like so triggered in the conversation we had today.
I don't think he can take a woman talking to him like that, in my opinion. I do want to remind people, like anyone who's confused about this is July 13th. This is 7 days after Blitz was told that his friend Peterson is weaponizing a woman's grape to silence her. And Blitz is in Bro's box. But Blitz is still saying in public servers, I'm not really friends with Peterson. I mean,
Ew.
I don't know. That seems really close to me. I don't know many men who coordinate to take selfies together. So I don't want Blitz getting away with this narrative that he's not friends with Peterson, that he's not defending Peterson when he's doing this kind of nonsense and he's still supporting Peterson in lives a week after learning that this man was weaponizing a woman's grape to silence her. So I've changed my decision. I'm not retiring until Blitz makes a public apology for this. Because it is not lost on me. Solicits CP, sexually harasses and coerces women, endangers children, and weaponizes people's grape against them, doesn't give a crap because they're my guy friends.
Who are the other two there? Should we investigate them?
These two still fully support Blitz. Oh, this guy is Glober. The guy who came up in my live and said I'm lying about Peterson, and during my live,
Over, yep.
I asked him, hang on, I want to be clear. You have a server? Yes. How big is it? 500 people. Do you know everyone in your server is not a minor? To which he said, I've vetted everyone individually. To which he then said that there's not a chance there's a single minor in my server. He then said in the server they'd watch UFC fights. We then found a server. It may not have been his server. He has denied it is his server, and it was not the server he was referencing. I don't believe him. The server we found had over 500 people in it, had him advertising that they were going to be playing the UFC fights in certain channels, and he was listed as the owner. Now, you can assign that to someone, but he was listed as an owner of the server, and he was the mod in the server, and we found all this out on the live, and we were able to show that he had minors in his server that people were physically threatened to go beat up. And when we confronted him with that, he started going around saying Irish is after me now, whereas I was proving my point, which is the reason why he joined my live was, why are you defending Peterson so hard? I said to him in the comments. And I said, is it because you've engaged in conduct related to what he did? Because that's why bad men protect bad men. That's why men protect bad men. Because you are afraid of being called out on the same thing.
Can we
And I
also
was right.
make it clear that Irish was not after him? Irish was given this information by just people in the chat. People in the comments went and found this information. Irish didn't direct anyone to go after him. They just wanted to show that what he was saying was completely false.
Like,
I mean,
it took place over the course of the live, and it wasn't even that long.
Yeah, Irish couldn't have left and found all of that while he was having a conversation with him.
I mean, let me be clear. I would have no problem doing it,
No,
but
not at all.
he's not on my radar. But I do find it interesting that those two men, the two men that were in that box, have been vocal advocates against me over the past 2 months. They never said a single damn thing about me prior to that happening. So the question comes down to with Blitz, and Kenzie, feel free to drop if you'd like at any point, because now it's going to get a bit salacious. The question comes down to is, why is Blitz still protecting Paleo and Peterson? Peterson, who knowingly endangered minors. Peterson, who has no problem weaponizing a woman's grape to silence her. Paleo, who has admitted to soliciting CP, receiving it and possessing it, and then claimed it's okay, bro, because I work with the FBI. So one reason, and I do not agree with this one, I do not agree with this, but I'm going to be vocal and admit what people are thinking. Blitz said in Dean's server, Dean hasn't done philosophy in a while, though. He's been doing politics mostly. What was it about? To which Blitz then said, it's Dean's baby face. No one can resist. Now, look, it's a weird thing to call a grown-ass man a baby face, and even if we all know what that term can mean, Dean's not a babyface. It's a weird goddamn comment. What was weird then was that someone said, and I don't think this was aggressive, current events considered, that was a choice. And I think that was a fair thing to say. Current events considered, that was a choice. His reaction, I thought, was weird. Don't be an effing weirdo. We're allowed to recognize that Dean is a handsome dude. The fact that your mind went there makes me question your intentions. That's a hell of a defensive reaction, right? Now, do I think that Blitz is okay with sexualizing minors? No, right? I don't actually think that. I think the evidence for it is in the DMs that we showed previously, where he literally said he does not believe that harm is done when adults are talking schmexually to minors. He tripled down on that. He said the harm is if something happens, but he believes that adults and children, meaning strangers, strange adults talking to children about schmex is not harmful, to which he then asked for studies to prove that it was harmful, to which then someone shared 15 studies. So I'll say it's weird that Blitz has literally said it's not harmful for adults to talk schmexually to minors. Do I think that Blitz is a Petritio? No. And that is what I want to make abundantly clear. I don't think there's evidence for this. I think the evidence is this man doesn't care about harm. I think it's not that he wants to endanger people. I think he just doesn't care. Now, the other option is that option. He also just doesn't care to protect vulnerable folk. This, to me, is what I believe is the strongest option. Because remember, here he was asked to help the victim. And his response was to victim blame, right? The next option, though, is he guilty of similar or related harms as Paleo, who collects CP, or Peterson, who endangers minors? Now, I'm going to say this super clearly. If you have minors in your server and they snuck in, I am not going to get mad about that, right? That would be insane to get mad about, right? Shit happens, I get it, right? If you didn't think about the harm that having minors and adults in a server together could cause, that's also somewhat understandable. But after everything that's happened in the past few months, you would think you know by now, right? Let's go through this. The fact that there were minors in Blitz's server, and that as a result of me calling out Peterson, a direct result, June 14th, Blitz says, hey, y'all, I'm not sure if there are any minors in here, but as of today, if you're under 18, you are restricted to science-based topics. So he made a change. He also privated the server 2 months ago and will not let anyone in right now because he's afraid of what I will find. When asked why did he private it, this person points out, why was the general, that's the general chat, restricted to adults? I think most discords from debate lives are. I guess it's the Peterson drama. And by the way, if that ends up being my legacy on this, that's awesome. I will be the guy who made people feel guilty, so they just, change their rules. And that is what Blitz is saying. Because drama and because all things considered, I should be careful about minors hanging out in a loosely moderated Discord. Well, this is interesting because he, in Parker's server, tried to justify what Peterson had done. And he said, as someone who stumbled into having a platform, it's very easy not to worry about what's going on in your Discord server. Like until yesterday, I didn't have age verification because I didn't even think I had any minors. Here he's saying he didn't believe he had minors. Remember that. I implemented it now because someone suggested it was a good idea. No, because of drama, Blitz. Did you forget what you just said? But you have to remember that most of us content creators are just randos who found themselves in a situation like this. Maybe this is a perspective most of y'all don't have because you're just not managing a community. So which is it? Content creators aren't professionals? Because here you're saying you are managing a community. But here you say, but we're not professional Discord mods. But there's no question he's saying he didn't have minors. He didn't believe he had minors. And he's doing this because it was a good idea, not because of drama. Why is it a year ago, Blitz, you said this, everyone needs to act like an adult. I don't care if you're underage, act like you're an adult. Don't be petty, don't be an ass. I don't have a message like this in my server from a year ago, Blitz. Do you want to know why you said that, Blitz? Because you knew you had minors in your server. And this is another example of trying to escape accountability. I didn't even believe I had any minors in my server to begin with. Really? Because a year ago, it seemed to have been something that you actually were considering about. That had came to your mind when you were deciding to call this out. Now, I'm going to say this. I don't have full access to a server because, Blitz, I've got the time. And if anyone wants to give me a login for his server, I cannot share a login with someone. It's just something I don't do. But if you're willing to give up a login for me to be able to go through his server, I've got the time. But I do have people who are in the server who've been willing to help look for certain things for me to direct them to. And I haven't found anything overly damning. Good for Blitz. Good for Blitz. What I did find was some dark humor that was maybe inappropriate for minors. This is a year ago, the same time he's admitting there were minors in the server that he knew about. Do you think that unaliving homeless people is the same as second trimester abortion? Depends on their lives and their beliefs. Okay, they're Philbroing abortion. Are you okay with unaliving homeless people? Depending on their lives, yes. I have a friend who was homeless as a teenager. Would you have been okay with unaliving him since he was homeless? And then what info is, and then he reposts this, the group person who we're talking about. That's not enough information to decide to unalive them. Okay, you need their age, their sex, what information in addition to them being homeless? Dark humor is a thing for a reason. Okay, this is all continued conversation. So this is the 30th, still continued conversation. Sorry, no. Sorry, I apologize. Not continued information. This chat made me curious about this guy. Now, I think what he was saying is that if the homeless person is a bad person, I would unalive them. So let me be clear. I don't want to misrepresent it. But when I saw this chat, I was like, let me dig a little deeper on this guy. And, oh, that's what it was. The reason why later on this guy mentions is something about photos. And we dug a bit deeper, and a month later, he says dark humor is a thing for a reason, and then posts these 4 screenshots. Now, this was at 12:31 p.m. To be clear, the conversation, that's page 2, because they always say misrepresenting. That's page 2. That's page 3. And yes, it's an hour and a half later, but he is following up on the discussion they've been having, which is if I had $1 billion, I would just fund the private institution. And that's because they're making fun of the billionaire who unalived themselves on the subway. And just to be clear, this was the meme. Trigger warning. Trigger warning for a moment. Trigger warning. And this was what was posted in Blitz's server. Gee, I hope that lost submarine has enough oxygen. Cut to the submarine, and it's a picture of George Floyd. Personally, I think dark humor is appropriate to be able to talk about our own personal trauma. I would never in any world think that was appropriate. And I know, I'm going to say the people in my server would have called that out and would have said that's not appropriate, right? So that's not damning. It's not damning, right? But the reason why I cared will become clear in a moment. They did have other conversations, which again, I don't think are damning, okay? This is them talking about some sort of dildo artifact. Just to be clear, it's an artifact. The 28,000-year-old dildo. This person, does anyone recognize who that is? Anyone? This is Tape Bug, the person who didn't know me until about a month ago, but then claimed that I was grooming victims of sexual assault, asking the person to tell us about the dildo. To which she says, the dildo, no, I think it was in granite. And then Tate Bug says, fish with a long human penis. Nothing bad here, right? Like, I don't think so. And then this person says, anything is a dildo if you believe hard enough. Just make sure it's flared. I wouldn't feel comfortable saying that to a child. I wouldn't, personally. And knowing that I'm in a server with someone saying that, I wouldn't feel comfortable. I'm not going to cook them for that. Not cooking them. This is all context. Tate Bug then says, for a dildo, a crucifix could be interesting, to which this person says, crucifix. Kind of funny. And the minor is in the conversation. This is minor A, to which this person then says, even that, which is the crucifix thing, even that, but you have to say your mother sucks X's in hell while you use it, as is tradition. Now, I would not be putting Blitz on blast for this, because this was one incident, and this is not blast-worthy. I want to be super clear, because I don't want them in any way saying, what's the big deal? Okay? But this is minor A, and I'm giving context. And then they post it and just call it a cock rock, if you will. That's fine, whatever. Then they start saying it's kinky, or maybe this may be another conversation. Let me just double check so Different conversation where this person says, kinky, God is a dummy mommy, new headcanon, tank splits, tell him about the 20-year-old Germanic dildo. So I guess they bring it up a lot. Again, no big deal. This would not be cancelable. This conversation gets weirder. This is a minor, and the minor says Blitz should do an age consent thing. I think in Africa, the age is like 12. Canada is 16. By the way, how is my audio? Let me flip. Just because this was the damning, or not damning, but this was going to be how I ended my live yesterday. But hey, I don't mind going through this now because this is the live to show that the reason why men don't call out bad men is that they know they may have done something similar. And it is scary. It is scary that you could be accused of something in a very fucked up way. I get it. But so far, all this is someone letting him know this is not appropriate, right? Like if someone stepped in and said this is not appropriate, then, and he didn't do anything about it, that would be an issue, right? So the minor says Blitz should do an age consent thing. I think Africa, the age is 12, Canada is blank. This adult says also age of consent in the US is dependent upon state. I think an age of consent argument just brings out like the creepiest of folks. That is an adult realizing that this type of conversation brings out the weirdos. Yeah, which is why it would be a good debate. The child obviously thinks it's a good debate because they're not thinking about it. I don't know, man. Platforming creepers seems like a bad idea. We can weed the creeps out. The adult says, an impossible task. If you're advocating for something even broader than half your age plus 7, then you're gone. You're gone beyond merely being a creep. Great. Someone being good. This is good. This indicates people in Blitz's server are good people, right? Not calling out anyone here, right? Something starts to change here. Because I'm sure after this, Blitz is going to go through his server like with a fine-tooth comb, right? Because Blitz said, if you all remember, that Peterson panicked. That's why he deleted everything. And that's understandable. So I'm sure Blitz is going to be panicking right now and deleting it and being like, how does Irish know that's a minor? There's no proof that that's a minor. They don't know they're talking to a minor, right? That's what Peterson did. Well, bitch, I recorded it. So go ahead with that narrative. It's going to work just as well for you as it did Peterson. Because the minor then says, that's 2 years younger than me. 2 ain't bad, but 3 and younger is bad. Huh? At first I was like, what the hell is he talking about? I didn't even understand what he was talking about. So half your age plus 7, what does that mean to say that is 2 years younger? Oh, guys, we're going to pause to do... No, we're going to keep going. That's 2 years younger than me. 2 ain't bad, but 3 is younger is bad. Why is he saying this? It's weird. Groot, which was the guy who posted that screenshot of George Floyd, which is how I found that screenshot. What? To which then Groot says, the minimum is still 18, regardless of your age doing it. If you do his math and get less than 18, you still don't go below 18. That is good. Not attacking Groot for that. Hang on. What did I miss? Oh. For me, the minor says, for me, when I do the math, it came to 15, which is 2 years younger than me. To which the minor then says, well, it depends. If we are talking about regular date, I don't know if y'all are talking about sex. I'm talking regular date. Minor says, does age matter if the guy and the woman is above 25? Groot says, half your age plus 7 equals the age you can date, have schmecks. If the answer is below 18, then you don't go below 18. I can't see going under 24 personally because I'm 38. That's fine. Oh, okay. If we're talking about schmecks, then I have no answer. Why would you date someone who wouldn't have schmecks? I'm not an adult. Why would I be thinking about schmecks? Now, I can agree that when you read this, I think most people would have realized he was saying that he's 17, right? Because he's referring to his earlier conversation where he said he'll go 2 years younger, but not 3. It's possible the guy thought it was 3 years and that he was actually 18, right? So I'll give him benefit of doubt. No benefit of doubt when they announce, I'm not an adult. Why would I be thinking about schmecks? At this point, I would cut off communication. I would realize, best case for Groot, oh, I didn't know I was talking to a minor. I don't want to continue this conversation, right? Groot proceeds, you, the minor, talked very crudely about having sex. Don't play games with me. You've talked very crudely about having sex. Don't play games with me. To which the minor posts this meme, which is just an uncomfortable meme in this context. I'm trying to treat you like a real person. No, you're trying to treat them like an adult, which is what's inappropriate. I made jokes about schmecks, and he laughs, because I guess he's not remembering. I made jokes about sex. I'll give you a reprieve and shit. The minor, in response to I made jokes about schmecks, Groot says, no, you talked a lot about effing B words and other crude comments. I posted the screenshots, remember? Weird. When? And that's what made me want to look for this guy's screenshots, but we didn't have time to go through them all. I agree it was off-putting to read. The minor says, I don't remember shit after some madman kicked me out, but trust me, I have changed. I'll believe it when you show me, to which someone who sees the discussion between a minor and an adult about schmecks, maybe this should be an 18 plus server. Fuck you, Blitz, ya piece of shit. I only found this stuff out about a week ago. You have been protecting Peterson, not because you're a P-Treatio. I don't think you're a P-Treatio. But because you don't care about victims, and you knew that I would be able to find the same shit on you, which is why he announced, I think it was on June 2nd, if not June 2nd, it was a week or so after, he was shutting down his Discord. Blitz had a hard shutdown because we tried to get into it using old links and he prevented us from getting in. Blitz has had his server on full shutdown this entire time. Blitz then changed the rule claiming, oh, it's 18 plus, which would seem like the responsible thing to do, right? And we want to give validation to people who do the right thing. But that's not why he did it. He only added age verification because of drama. And more importantly, he knew there were minors in his server, but when he announced in Parker's server, I didn't have age verification on, I didn't even think I had minors in the server to begin with. A person who takes accountability would announce, I do, and I'm getting reported. Of course I'm getting reported. Oh, because more is about to come out. I didn't have age verification on. Yeah, but when he says, I didn't even know, yes, he did know a year ago, and it was a year ago that this conversation happened, where a child is saying, I'm not an adult. Why would I be thinking about sex? To which an adult is pushing back and saying, you've talked very crudely before. To which a response, and then is clearly uncomfortable. No, I'm going to get this banana. I don't care about the account at this point. To which then a responsible adult announces in the server, maybe this should be an 18 plus server. A year ago, people raised this concern. Blitz is going to claim, I'm not a professional mod. Blitz is going to claim, I didn't know. Blitz is going to claim everything possible other than, you're right, I was engaging in similar things that he was. And that minor, when I went through some of the comments, there's some stuff I wouldn't want a minor saying. Like, I know you get no attention and B words, but that doesn't mean to make S up. Unless benching gets you money in B words, I don't see a reason to be jealous. Okay, but then I have none, but I get more B words than you. Okay, bud, go get your blank wet before you talk. A minor should not be in a server talking about getting his blank wet. Lesson learned, right? Right? So let's, guys, if I restart, I'm going to lose a bunch of people. I'd rather get the banana at this point. It's frustrating. But at this point, you can make excuses. I can make the excuse on TikTok Shop. Actually, that's what I got to do. Quick.
Can you read that disclosure
Yep,
again?
I'm going for it. I'm going for it right now. I'm looking for it. If anyone wants to tag me. There it is. Got it. This live is about civil discourse and conversations. We don't tolerate transphobia, homophobia, no hateful rhetoric, ideology, or behavior, and no bigotry, bullying, or harassment will be tolerated. I'll read that again. This live is about civil discourse and conversations. We don't tolerate transphobia, homophobia, no hateful rhetoric, ideology, or behavior, and no bigotry, bullying, or harassment will be tolerated. This is for educational purposes only, for those who are interested in learning how to use the TikTok Shop in order to make money moving forward. Now, I'm going to be fair. No. I'm going to be fair to Blitz. Give me 5 more minutes. I'm going to be fair to Blitz. And I'm going to say, I'm not going to be fair and say he didn't know there were minors. He knew there was minors in the server a year ago. He knew. And he lied when he said he didn't know. I'm going to say, okay, he didn't see this comment. Oh, sorry. Let me make this more Womblands. He fucking knew that there were minors in the server. Let's say he missed that. I can tolerate his minimization of adding age verification as drama. Okay, he's now got it age verified. He himself admitted it's necessary because it's quote unquote a loosely moderated Discord. So why is it minor A, which we showed earlier, the day that the minors got moved out of the Gen chat, why did minor A post in the Gen chat, also for some reason I still have access to general? I guess the 18 under 18 rule needs to be fixed. Meaning Blitz made an announcement and Blitz added a way for people to identify as under 18. And he said he would exclude them from general. Okay, he messed it up. This person is informing him of the mess up. This person is definitely a minor, because it's not like they've not announced that they're a minor. Again, I don't know if this message will be deleted. And my problem is minor B, who was in general chat as of 2 months ago, was then complimented by minor C. Minor C, who identifies as 17, has been in that server since May. A minor, and I apologize for using the PFP, I forgot to redact that, but frankly, inappropriate, in my opinion, for the minor to be in the server. Announced in someone else's server. The only server I have is Dr. Blitz. Apart from this, I'm not banned in Tashika's, but I can't talk or nothing. I mean, me personally, I'm 23. I'm more active in a server that is 18 plus only. That's because she was talking about how minors are excluded from other servers, but she remained in Blitz's. And this is dated August, 7 days ago, that minor posting in the general chat. What that shows is that this minor who's saying, I still have access, you haven't fixed stuff, it never got fixed or proper precautions weren't taken, so you still had minors in the general chat with all the adults, which again would be something that maybe we can understand. Why does that matter though? Why does it matter that he knew about how dangerous servers can be from Peterson? That he knew that there were minors in the server? That he knew that his Discord was loosely moderated? Why does all that matter? Because Blitz chose to keep Paleo in his server around the minors after learning that Paleo admitted to seeking out child porn. Blitz knew 1000% everything that Paleo had done. Blitz knew that Paleo was in his server. Blitz knew that this person was dangerous for children as a result of seeking out CP. And Blitz had this person who's a known child porn collector, not creator, collector, ended up keeping Paleo in the server until August 8th at least, even though there were still minors in that server. And just in case he tries to pretend otherwise, I made a recording of your membership list. So to the extent you try to remove other people, you're not going to gaslight me, because I also took a screenshot showing he was an active member in the Blitz server as of August 8th. So respectfully, I don't think that Blitz is a Petritio. I think Blitz doesn't care, and I think that Blitz has been defending Peterson because he's guilty of this similar goddamn conduct. And that's my best guess. Shub, do you want to do a reset and I'll actually restart the live?
Okay.
And then at that point, I'll bring up Chartastic just to ask if they have something specific. Otherwise, I'm going to do a restart. But at this point, I don't know what to do. I don't know how to get people to care about this. I can tell you a lot of creators don't seem to care. And in my opinion, I'm tired of people saying they give a crap about people and not even doing the bare minimum. All right, sorry, Chartastic. So I'm going to do a reset. I know I'm going to lose a bunch of you guys. I would love for more people to come back in and join the live. I got carried away liking. I would love for people to come in and join the live, especially if you disagree with me, because maybe I am getting crazy. And so please join the live and correct me if you think I'm overstating all this stuff. But I think the fact that he lied about knowing there were minors in the server is a telltale sign of a man who's covering up his mistakes instead of just being like, I goofed up, my bad. No, friendlies as well, I like whoever. So I'm going to restart. please feel free to rejoin. Mac, I see you joining as well. Please, everyone, feel free to rejoin because I can continue this story. I'm going to restart now. I'll be back up in literally